So you have tribe and group exposure. You have leverage inner circle, start a podcast, social media strategy, develop long-term strategic partners. I love that. Partnerships, speaking engagements, panel discussions, develop network to leverage exposure, right? i.e. podcast. And then the growth cafe strategy, which I want you to kind of explain to me what that is.
Yep.
So, let's start from the top. Tribe and group exposure. What did you have in mind?
I don't know. Are you familiar with Tribe?
What's his name? Stu McLaren?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm actually supposed to record some bonus modules for him next month, but I'm part of the Tribe Plus group.
Okay.
And I'm not sure how to really leverage it. A lot of that, there's a mix, just like Frank Kearns. There's a lot of newbies and a lot of people that have established stuff. But I really haven't leveraged it. I really haven't done much in terms of communicating in that group. So that's something that I should be doing.
Yeah. Okay. So I see. So it's a private community similar to the one that you and I are in.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
Yeah, and you're saying, how do I provide value in there? What do I need to do to sort of get some eyeballs over to my, my brand? So let me give you some tactical stuff that I do, and you could use it or not. But what I typically like to do when I go in and pay to be in these groups is I want to make connections. And so what I do is I look at the most active people in the group, and I friend request them immediately.
Oh, dude, okay.
I friend request them immediately, and 9 times out of 10 they'll either private message me, hey, what's going on, awesome to connect. They'll say, oh, you're part of Frank's group too, or you're part of XYZ group too. Yep. So immediately we establish that rapport and bond, and then I wait a couple of days. I don't want to look like a spammer, and then I would invite them to my fan page.
Gotcha.
Right? I would invite them to my fan page. 98% of them book. Like. I say book. Yeah. And then what I do is I drive ads to only people who like my fan page. Now, I'm going to start to expand a little bit, not crazy, but a little bit. But one thing that Facebook has always messed with me on is this. Every time I go and I choose a target audience, I get like people that aren't even in the location that I'm targeting, which drives me absolutely mad. And I don't know if that's because my account is so old. I have no idea. But that's
you're not the only one, man. My wife gets some of my ads. I'm like, what the fuck?
Right. And that drives me absolutely mad. But what I did realize is when I focus it just towards the people who like my page, they go. I mean, you get them. I've had clients that say, I see your sponsored stuff all the time. And so that's sort of the strategy I'm using with the groups. Now, I just started another strategy yesterday. I said, dude, if I want to see different results, I got to do different things. Yeah. And so I told you LinkedIn is a place where both of us should be playing around more. I would say even more than Facebook.
I agree. I was actually going to talk to you about that today.
Okay. So write that down because I definitely want to talk to you about it. So what I've done yesterday is I spent about a half an hour, nothing crazy, but I searched in the search query, coaches, business coaches.
Yep.
And you hit search, and then you can search people, you can search groups. So I search groups, and then I look at the groups, and I look at their members count, right? Yep. Some people have 1 million people in their group, right? That's a little too busy, right?
Yep.
But then I see 60,000, 30,000, 20,000, 10,000, 5,000. So I requested to join the group. So I got access to half a dozen groups yesterday, and I was like, okay, I'm pretty new to this, so let me go in and see what these groups actually consist of. And I was so used to Facebook groups, this blew my mind. So here's what's going on in these groups. So everybody in the group is all posting links out to their freaking websites.
Yeah.
So I was like, this is brilliant. This is basically a directory for coaches that want to interact with other coaches and read their content and read what's going on. And so I went into about 6 groups. Now I'm a content junkie, as far as creating it, that's what I absolutely love to do. So I looked at all my blog posts. I look at some of my podcasts. And so you create a headline, which is the podcast or blog post title. You plop that in, you put in a little 3 or 4 lines, and then you put the link to the blog or link to the podcast, and you hit publish. And now your ad or your piece of content gets published into that group. And everybody in that group, if I understand this correctly, gets notified when you do that. Yes, no? Because I might be wrong with that. So I don't want to
get notified.
Okay. But your sort of footprint now is imprinted into that group. Yeah. And so I did that 6 times yesterday in 6 different groups. Now, if you're as consistent as me and just make it part of your daily habit, like you ate that oatmeal just now, you can start doing that on a consistent basis, and eventually that's going to compound.
Yep.
So that's another awareness activity that I think would be extremely helpful for you. So let me shut up, because I know you got some thoughts.
No, I think it's great. So I've been on LinkedIn for a while, but haven't leveraged it to the point where I should. There's a guy I reached out to. He's actually a young guy that he's been leveraging LinkedIn quite a bit. The interesting thing is, if you could do it right, man, he gets, I don't know, he got a couple of 100,000 people just views on some of his stuff. So he's going to get back to me, because I worked with him in the past, and he kind of said, hey, look, you need some coaching. I said, yeah, absolutely. But it seems what I'm observing is a lot of these guys coming into LinkedIn can build a following like this. Because the way their hashtags work is crazy. So I'm trying to learn the hashtag system. But they have these little clicks too that if you get into, so I'll be completely transparent too, a lot of the shit has no fucking value. It's just people trying to get other people's attention, but they're doing a good job. And I think LinkedIn definitely for our market is a huge opportunity.
Yeah. I think
what I've noticed is they create their own little circles, and they tag each other on each one of those communications, and they redistribute each other's stuff, and it just goes viral from there. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you could get some education on that, and I'd be open to listening to that conversation as well. I think when we were talking about doing that partnership, I think there's a lot more that could be done. I mean, I think 2 of us are powerhouses. If we team up, I think it's going to be powerful stuff. And just figuring out what that looks like is our next step. But yeah, I think LinkedIn is where we need to be. And, a lot of the stuff that I do is a lot of hands-on, in the beginning. I need to know, I tell everybody, I can't sell shit unless I've done it. And I can say that it would either worked or it didn't work.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
And so this year I'm in LinkedIn pretty heavy, and I'm like, all right, what do I need to do? How do I need to do it? Let me try it. If I don't like it, oh well. But it's like wearing a hat, right? If the hat looks stupid on you, you just try a different hat. And so that's kind of what I'm doing in LinkedIn. Let me just go over.
So it's interesting because LinkedIn has gone there. It's Facebook and LinkedIn are going completely different ways based on what Facebook has announced. Mark Zuckerberg. You know how Facebook started off social and got into the business stuff?
Yeah.
And now, actually, I want to talk to you about that in terms of the latest announcement and what that means. But it's been transitioning, so it got into the business stuff, but now Mark's pulling back because people are getting pissed off, obviously, right? You're seeing all the ads.
It's just all saturated.
LinkedIn was always professional, so they always, if you had something of value from a professional standpoint, people ate that shit up. But they were pissed off if you posted personal stuff. So now it's kind of, LinkedIn is getting a lot. I'm thinking that at some point they might do what Facebook did and say stop posting personal shit because it's just clogging up people's feeds. But I'm seeing a lot more of that now.
Yep, I'm with you. I'm seeing a lot of the personal meme posts and stuff like that. I'm doing it myself because I'm seeing other people do it. I was like, oh, I see what's going on here. I think there's been a shift in the market.
Yep.
And the way people are communicating in 2018, and this whole sense of authenticity, this sense of personalization, these big brands that are coming down to the minion level, you know, and working and trying to communicate the emotion that way, I think is where all of this is shifting. And there's a reason why these shifts are happening, and I think that's it. I think it's just how we're communicating and marketing, because everybody's sick and tired of the bullshit and the smoke and mirrors of the whole thing, of the internet. And so that's why I think you're seeing that shift, and that's why LinkedIn is getting more personal and Facebook is getting more personal, going backwards into the more personal side of things. So those are some awareness pieces. But for you, what I would like to see, and I'm starting to see it now on, you know, because I'm following you and I'm starting to pick up your stuff on Instagram, is I want to see more consistency on the platforms that we choose to hang out on. Yeah. And I think Facebook's one, because you can't really get away from it. So if you leverage the right groups and you get in there, I think that's a place where you got to hang out. I think the podcast, we didn't talk about that yet, but either getting on other people's podcasts and creating your own is something that I think is a must-have on your tool belt. Yeah. And I have an opportunity for you to actually simply record the episodes, and my team does everything else. We do production, we do posting, we do publishing, everything. That's all you need to do is create the damn episode and send us the MP4, and we do everything else. Yeah. And so there's different packages. Like I said, I'm not here selling you, but there's different packages. Like my one client, they want to do 4 episodes a week, 5 episodes a week. So it's 20 a month, right? And so there's different tiers. But I think being consistent with that, I'm on my 99th episode, and I think I started this like 4 months ago. So that's a lot of consistency, and I've landed big jobs because of it, because it's somewhere to go and consume me. And I don't think you missed the boat yet, but podcasting is getting very, very popular. Yeah. And so it will eventually get crowded. So you got to jump on this wave now and really do a good job with it. So, that's that.
So can we break it down? Because just how my mind works.
Yes.
We break it down by platform and the things that we should do.
Sure. You want to start with Facebook?
Yeah, let's start off with, so we talked about LinkedIn first. So I'm going to join more groups in terms of LinkedIn.
Yeah. And you got to start producing content.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's what I'm kind of figuring out. These guys are doing short 2 or 3 minute videos. Mm-hmm. And tagging them. They're like the quirkiest thing. Like one's embrace the suck, # embrace the suck. Like
who is that?
I don't know. Fuck, it's gone viral. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
So these 2 or 3 minute videos, it seems like they're low production, very straightforward. And you know the 1 minute videos that I do? I'm thinking about just getting rid of that, because they're like, I have to put on headers and put on all that other shit. I'm just wondering if it's better just to do a straightforward simple video with the normal background and say, this is what we're going to chat about today.
Yeah, I think you're okay with that. Some of the stuff needs to be rapid fire. It doesn't have to be heavily produced because it just slows you down, you know? So I pick and choose what I produce.
So the question is it, so what do you produce then? What do you recommend producing?
The longer form stuff. So I produce the strategy calls that I post on my YouTube channel. If I do a 20-minute sort of, I don't like to call it tutorial, but like a 20-minute conversation, I'll have it produced. Anything over like 15 minutes, I'll have that produced. All right, okay. 15, 20 minutes, I'll have it produced. Anything real short and punchy doesn't need to be produced because it's just me being, I just want to get out there. I just want to get it out, and I want to engage. I want to interact. And so that's how I distinguish. Okay.
That's good. Okay, so let's for LinkedIn then, I'm gonna join the groups, and then I'm gonna start posting maybe 2-3 minute videos.
Yeah, there you go. That's a start, I should say.
The only thing, so LinkedIn, you might find is it's kind of tricky. They don't have the same technology for uploading videos and recording videos. It's a lot slower, and sometimes it crashes. So
yeah, when I upload a video, like those little GIFs that I make with Wordle, when I upload those, it takes sometimes a minute or two.
Yeah, it's crazy, eh?
Yeah, then I get an email. Oh, it's uploaded. So yeah.
10 minutes later.
Yeah, it's a little funky like that, but that's a good start.
Okay, and so let's talk about Facebook then.
Okay, so the same thing is I would go into the groups, and the best way to do it, Purdeep, is the way I do it, I think, because it just blocks out the time. Yeah. So it's a 30-minute sprint. So you block out 30 minutes a day, right? It could be 10, 10, and 10, however you want to do it. 30 minutes in one shot, I don't care. But 30 minutes, you go in to specific groups and you drop some turds. That's how that's what I call it.
For Facebook, are you talking about like Frank's group or other areas?
Yeah, Frank's group, the tribe,
okay,
other groups that are in there. And you do that consistently. So if you're replying to people's posts, you could do that every day. But if you're dropping an actual content bomb, is what I call it, don't do that every day, because that would be – people are going to smell that out, I think, in my opinion. People are going to smell that out and be like, is he fishing for clients? Because it's getting to that point, right? So what I like to do is spread it out 3 times a week. You go in and you drop what I drop in Frank's group. And your sole mission is to get people thinking about what they should be thinking about, and you truly want to provide value. Yeah. What people want to do with you after that is up to them.
Yeah,
completely up to them.
That's my style anyway. So
yeah, and so that's what I would do. So dropping those bombs 3 times a week in different groups is really going to start to solidify your foundation as one of those thought leader, those subject matter experts and thought leader in your raving fans, brand, if you will.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Then I would also like to see, some more interaction, and this is where I can come in. Some more interaction on Facebook Lives. I could come on a live with you. You come on a live with me. We come up with a conversation. We come up with 3 talking points. We come up with a conclusion or a wrap up or a recap, a call to act, not a call to action, but an action step. And then that's our live.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That's something when it comes to what we were talking about before in terms of our partnership or potential partnership. I'm seeing guys and gals get together and form like these joint podcasts or talks. It's actually quite interesting when you have 2 people hosting it.
Absolutely.
You have different personalities. I don't know if that's something that
I want to do it.
Okay,
no,
awesome.
I want to do it. So that's why I started bringing in guests. Like my first maybe 20, 30 episodes were just me.
Yeah.
And that's cool. But then, like, you got to get another personality in there.
Yep.
You got to break up the monotony. You just do. Because then you get different perspective. It brings out a little something in you that you probably wouldn't have been brought out if you didn't have another person. Ben Settle does this great. He does a podcast. He's got a co-host on every episode. Jonathan, I think his name's, Jonathan. And, you know, he beats him up. Jonathan back. You know, there's like this banter that goes on, and it's entertaining.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I'd love to do that.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. It's just entertaining. And so doing that, you know, I would love to do that with you, because I could tell we could go on. Our podcast would be 2 fucking hours.
Yeah.
But but that's something that I really want to do on a very consistent basis.
Let's do it.
All right. So we could do it once a week. I mean, that's cool with me. And then maybe once we get your podcast established, we share, you know, we go on each other's stuff. So we both benefit from it. I just don't want it to be lopsided.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
that's your Facebook strategy. And I don't know if I gave you frameworks yet, but let me give you a quick framework, and you can jot this down in notes or whatever. So I want you to start to theme out your weeks, and I want you to start theming out your days.
Yep.
So whatever, do you have a framework for that? Did I give you that?
I do that every day. I'm very big into planning, so.
Good. Because there's something so I'm on this whole brand identity kick this week. And so I'm talking about different brand identity issues that I was faced as a personal brand, and how I overcame them or dealt with them and met with them. So today was interesting. Yesterday was interesting. You know, I talked about the 2020 episode, stuff like that. So because what you could do is you could package those and sell them, you know, later on down the pike. You know, you want a 5-step, you know, on brand identity. You package these 3 videos up and you sell it for $100. Say, hey, you know what I mean? So just one of those little things that you could get rocking that'll bring in a couple of extra bucks. I'm not going to get rich off of them, but if you took 4 weeks and you modularized them and put them in a course, now you can sell the course for $1,000.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Stuff like that. So you always want to be creating content. You always want to be creating offers. I mean, Frank is a big heavy hitter on that, and all my coaches is, if you're not offering something, you're doing a disservice to the community. Yeah. And so that's just a mindset that I'm heavily embraced. And then Instagram. Let's look at Instagram. So Instagram is going to be, listen, there's a lot of attention there, but it is getting quite crowded, just like Twitter got crowded, right? So there's a hashtag strategy. I want you to follow what I'm doing. I want you to use a app called Tag-O-Matic. So it's
Tag-O-Matic?
TAGO apostrophe Matic, MATIC. And what Tag-O-Matic does is pretty interesting. So you type in a keyword, and it basically scours Instagram and finds you the top 30 most relevant and popular hashtags around that keyword. Now, it's not super efficient, but you could copy and paste all 30, or you could choose which ones you want to use and then copy and paste them into a post. Instead of you
look this up daily?
I use it every time I post. And then what I do is, if say 5 or 6 hashtags that they produce are crap, I don't use them.
Okay.
And now I have 5 spots. I have 5 slots I need to fill. I'll use personal branding, personal brand, consulting, consultant, consulting life. I have some go-tos that I use as fillers. but I'm always using at least a minimum of 28 to 30 hashtags every time. The one thing that's super, super big that I found out yesterday, and this is not brain science, but I'll show you something. Hold on one second. So if you go to my account yesterday, I posted back to back 2 images in about an hour from each other, and I typically don't do that, but I was testing something. So the first post I posted was an animation from Wordle, and it was a question. It was share 5 adjectives or words that best describe your company. I got decent engagement, 33 comments, and 622 views.
Sorry, this is your Henry one?
This is the Brand Doctor one. I sort of aborted the Henry one. I don't want to even, I just post like once a day on that one just to keep it kind of current. But the Brand Doctor one. So you'll look at my last 2 posts, right? So
yeah, I saw those.
Yeah, so one has 622 views, and then look at the one that looks like a meme.
The which one?
The one that looks like a meme. My last post. Every time I
Oh
think,
yeah, that guy. Yeah.
Yeah. Look at that.
4,000 views.
Yeah. Why?
Oh, because it's entertaining.
It's share-worthy. It's entertaining. It looks native to the platform. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So that, and look how many people shared it. There's people tagging people left and right. So this is
actually, that was my question. I was taking a look at that. That's exactly what I saw, and I said, "Holy crap, that's a lot of views." And how did you get that video on there in the first place?
Got it. So I use a app called Repost.
Shit, man, these are tough ones.
And it's free. It's free. It's super easy to do. And
is it Repost for Instagram?
That's it. It looks like that.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I found it.
And so you don't want to repost every post, right? But you want to repost, once, maybe once every 2 days.
Yep.
Right? Because now you're interacting with another account. That account may shout you out now, right? So you're building that relationship.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, let me do this. I'm going to put our 2 p.m. back on the map, okay?
Yep.
Because I want to continue this conversation.
Yeah, my goal is actually, I have a pretty hefty goal with my business coach. In the next 90 days, I want to get 30,000 followers on all platforms.
Okay.
So that's some heavy lifting on my part, but
Yes.
I'm willing to put in whatever it takes because I know I only have maybe 2,000.
Yeah.
2,000 max.
So here's what we can do. The way you're going to be able to do that quickly is through influencer marketing.
Yep.
That's going to get you quick spikes of, it took me about 30 days to get 10,000 followers. So for you to get 30 and 30, that's like, you got to do almost
90 days.
Oh, 90 days. Okay.
Yeah.
You could do that. That's completely doable. That's completely doable. So it's 10 grand. It's 10 grand a month. You could do it. I did it. It's simple.
Awesome.
I could give you some influencers that I use, and you reach out to them. I could tell you the good accounts will charge you anywhere from $70 a post to 200, 300 a post. So you're going to spend some coin there, but you want to make sure that the engagement on their account is good. So when you look at their account before you buy from them, you want to make sure that their engagement, so their comments are high, their views are high, the comments are high, the likes are high. but that engagement's the key. If they have if they have 1 million followers, they're only getting 1,000 likes and 2 comments, that's a red flag. You don't want to spend your money on that account.
Yep.
It means their engagement sucks, and Instagram isn't showing their stuff to many people. So that's a problem.
Yeah. So if you have people that you recommend, absolutely.
I do.
I just take whoever you recommend and use them.
Yeah. So let me give you a couple people. I have a list here. Hold on.
Are you able to maybe text me or forward the information?
Yeah. I got them in my notes, so I could literally copy and paste them in. So yeah, influencer marketing on Instagram is how you're going to get that increase in following.
And now, are you finding that those people that you have, because I know it looks like you have 50,000, that they're actually engaging?
Yeah. So I had to change my content strategy. My content strategy kind of sucked. It really wasn't engaging. And I was just posting, I was talking at them, not with them. Yeah. And when I changed that, I started asking questions on every post. I started really responding to a lot of the comments, which is another biggie. My reach increased. My impressions increased. Okay. My sharing increased. So it's really getting them involved with your post.
Gotcha.
What's going to stir that up?
Yeah, I have a big question in regards to my content. I don't even know if people give a shit about it.
Yeah.
I hear some people that, some of the quotes that, I like putting the quotes because they're shit that, goes through my mind as a business owner, but also stuff that I encounter when I'm dealing with my clients.
Yep. Okay, so I'm looking at your account and I could do a quick little audit for you.
Yeah.
So first and foremost, what you want to do is you want to send. So my call to action sends them to my resource guides landing page on my website.
Okay.
Where they can get they can pick which download they want to opt into.
Yep.
This takes them to your website, which then they have to. It's sort of just like you're bringing them to a large field, and not really telling them what to do next.
Yep.
Where in my account, I'm and I play this brand doctor thing up like crazy because it's my brand. But if you want some over-the-counter, relief, right? Go here because that's my cheap stuff.
Gotcha.
And they go there. They could, and I'm watching my active campaign subscriber list. 10, 15 people a day.
That's good. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's great growth. I'm not bad about that at all. I'd rather have 10, 15 people a day than 1,000 people that will never buy from me.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's my strategy there. The other thing is your hashtag game. It's a couple of things. A couple of things you got to think about is what's your audience hashtagging? What are they using as hashtags? So if I'm going after coaches, consultants, and speakers, you bet your ass that those people are using those hashtags because they want to be indexed via that hashtag.
Yeah.
So, and I had that all messed up in the beginning. I was hashtagging designer, graphic designer, web design. My clients aren't using those hashtags.
Yeah.
So that's that's where.
Just forget about those crappy hashtags?
Yeah. I mean, okay. So if I were you, I would look at our brand, our user profiles, right? And I would think, all right, who does, Tiny Tim, what kind of hashtags is Tiny Tim using? And you start thinking like that and you're like, aha. And then you start hashtagging those hashtags.
So the guy that does the LinkedIn stuff. And I don't know if it's relevant, but about 6 months ago, he showed me. So on my personal Instagram account, I go onto my business one and I do a comment with a bunch of other hashtags.
That's right. That's correct.
And so so there's leadership, leader, motivation, motivational, entrepreneurship, entrepreneur life. What I'll do is I'll probably cut out a bunch of those, put like hashtag business, businesswoman, business owner, entrepreneur, keep those ones.
Yep, CEO.
Yeah, okay. I'll just strip that down.
Yep. And some of the questions, so go big or go. Where do you go to hide from going big? Live there. Yeah, that's great insight. But there's a reason. I want to know why you're only getting 49 views, right?
Yeah.
Right. And that tells me that the hashtags aren't relevant.
The hashtags? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the views have significantly.
Yeah, 103. And then when you look at viewer insight, right? I can't see that on my end, but you can on yours.
Yep.
When you click view insights, what's the reach look like?
So here, I'll show you this screen here. I don't even know if you
click on an individual post.
So I'll just do the let's see. Let's do the go big one.
Mm-hmm.
Click on the post first, and then view insights.
Yeah.
Reached 122.
It 122.
122.
Yeah. So we got to get that up into the thousands.
Yeah.
So that's why we need to focus in on, like, my last post. I go to view insights. It's 6,074. Like, and that's not even good. Like, I've seen my clients have 50, 60,000 in their reach. And some of the stuff, Purdeep, is going to be impossible because it's just the name of the game. For example, my Instagram account is old, and every single one of these Instagram experts that I've consulted with, they all said the same thing, so I believe it. They said, because your Instagram account is old, Instagram won't newer accounts are easier to grow than older accounts. It's just the way it is. So they all pushed me to build Henry Kaminski, and I did it, and I still didn't see the rapid growth. Why? Because my content was off.
Yeah.
My content was not on point. It wasn't. So the big accounts that are doing really good, like the guy that I had on the podcast yesterday, Logo Inspirations, he's very consistent with his posting. It's all about one thing. There's one theme in mind. It's logos. So what he does is he goes and he scours the internet for cool logos and he posts it. And it's logo. It's inspiring you for your, like, create a logo.
Yeah, that's cool.
Right? And so what I said to myself last week was, I want to be the personal branding guy.
Yep.
That's it. So now if you go to my account, I post other personal brands. I post me. I post my family. I post questions that all revolve around personal branding. So when you come to my account, it's a hub for personal brand expertise. I was thinking, and I heard Mark Cuban say this yesterday, which is extremely important that we get this and we don't forget it. He said, you got to look at yourself for a second and ask yourself, what makes us buy and not buy certain things? What makes us like and not like certain things? Look at our own buying experiences and buying behavior.
Mm-hmm.
And so I follow a lot of fashion brands on Instagram, Gucci, Versace, and all those other brands. But I also follow these other big accounts. They have like 900,000, 1 million following, like men's fashion tutorial, men's fashion, right? And I go, why do I follow this account?
Yep.
Because they give me ideas on how to dress. And I could go there. I could walk into Nordstrom's with that Instagram account open and tell my cousin who works there, find me this outfit or something similar. See? Like, so when somebody comes to the Purdeep Instagram account, like,
what the hell?
What's the specialization? Why am I coming here? That's the big question.
Okay, so that's good. So this is stuff that we'll probably cover in the client brief, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that consistent message that it's okay? So that's good. That'll give me some clarity on that part.
Yeah. So I want to look at some of these other awareness goals that you have.
Yep.
And sort of give you some tactical stuff to tack onto them. You know what I mean? So we talked about social media strategy on 3 different platforms. We talked about starting a podcast. We talked about leveraging Facebook groups and LinkedIn groups, speaking engagement or panel discussions.
Yep, that's something that I'm working on through business development. So people ask me to speak every once in a while at certain events.
Yeah. So I don't have a lot of experience with that. I'm actually getting some help with that myself. So I don't know. What I've been told is to get out there and start speaking for free, offer your expertise, just offer it. You know, my coach says, you know, go to the Kiwanis, go to the local universities around here and reach out and talk to a classroom first, then a group of people, you know, and then, so that's all stuff that I plan on doing this year. I got some stuff lined up.
Yeah, that'd be good for you.
Yeah, develop network to leverage exposure.
So these are key influencers, and that's something that you need to figure out. So Stu's obviously a key influencer. Frank's been really busy though. He hasn't been really responsive to a lot of stuff. So I got Stu, and I'm actually going to probably meet with him in a couple of weeks here to find out what he can do to help.
Okay, good. All right, that's good. So that's a step in the right direction. Talk to me about Growth Cafe.
Yeah, Growth Cafe is a tech company. So Deepak owns this company that has, it's similar to, you've heard of Kajabi?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so what Frank uses for his platform. But it's for enterprises, and it's basically a learning management system. So he's this guy that basically came together, created this platform. And it's actually pretty cool. He has it in some organizations right now, but the way they're engaging it isn't very effective. So him and I ran into each other at a Tony Robbins event and just kind of stayed in touch. And I can't remember if I think he might have reached out to me and said, hey, look, we have this platform. You're the Superfans guy. Tell me what you do. And I said, hey, this is what I do. He said, I think you can help me. So his challenge is that the technology that he uses, when he puts it into an organization, they just put it in and no one really knows how to get people engaged on it. So what I do with organizations is, part of having Superfan clients is creating that culture, as I mentioned before. How do you get your employees engaged and optimize their performance? So I said, hey, look, I can potentially leverage your platform as part of my coaching style to say, hey, look, if you guys are looking at doing this, there's a platform that can help with certain areas. Basically, it's like social media for enterprises. You can post stuff, there's tutorials you can go into, it tracks everything, there's an app for it. So it's a pretty cool platform, they just don't know how to use it. So they're going after big companies, they're going after Hitachi next probably few weeks. We've been talking about that strategy, but basically, if it works out, I don't know if it's 100%, but I will be coaching those organizations on how to improve basically their culture and use this platform.
I like it. I like it a lot. Yeah, I think they need to understand how to use and leverage their own work before they can tell somebody else to.
Yeah, these guys are tech guys and business guys, right?
That's right. So, yeah, so I think that's a great partnership. The other thing that you mentioned to me via Voxer was finding those 4 or 5 guys or gals, creating that little mini rat pack, if you will. That's the way I think of it, because I love Frank Sinatra. So I think of things like that, and I'm like creating that rat pack of guys and girls that will help each other, like really, I guess, intimately grow each other's brands and businesses, right? And create a place where somebody can come and get all 5 pillars of business in one shot, right?
Yep.
It's powerful. It's powerful.
Yeah, I love it. And I think there's so much opportunity out there.
There is. It's finding the right people.
Yeah.
Is what will be the challenge. And so I think finance is definitely one of those pillars that need to be filled. I have a client who I thought may be a good fit for that. I just grazed the surface with him yesterday about it, and I said, this is what we're thinking of. You popped into my head. Why don't you churn it around a little bit? Get me some questions back. I'll bring it back to the guy that I'm talking to about it, and then we'll figure it out. And he said, all right, yeah, give me a day or so, and I'll get back to you. So if you're the raving fans guy, I am the brand guy. He's the finance guy. I think there's 2 other pillars that I think we need to fill.
Yeah, definitely. I believe tech is one of them.
Yep.
Technology. And then you were thinking sales?
I was thinking sales. Yeah. So, I could cover in branding, I could cover a lot of the social media stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome.
In that. So, sales, I think is just staple. I think it's monumental.
Yeah.
And, I do have somebody for that. He's my sales coach. He's an older guy. I think he's doing it already with somebody else, but I don't think it would be. Well, I gotta ask. Ask. But he would be great because he's just such a wealth of information. Like,
awesome.
He's sold encyclopedias like in the 80s.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean he's old school. He's old school, but he's always got the answers. And and it's funny, and that's what I tell him. I said, Tom, you always got the answers. He said, well, dude, I've been doing this a long time, like way before you were born.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's that. But I'm all about it. I think we'll be able to cover more ground if we partner up. I mean,
absolutely.
If we create that, and I've been working with you now 7 hours, like 6 hours now. I kind of know who you are. You know who I am. And I think it would be a great thing for 2018 for both of us. But we just got to iron it out and figure out how we want to attack it and go from there. So are you comfortable with some of the awareness sort of strategy that we need to tackle and how to do it, what to do, why we're doing it?
Yeah, we could probably talk about it during the brief, but content is important, and I think that's something I need a little bit more guidance on, as well as frequency. So those are the things, like how often should I be posting videos on Facebook?
Okay. All right, so that I can handle right now. You want to get out there when you have something to say.
Yeah.
If you don't have anything to say, don't just get out there to talk.
Don't get out there? Okay.
I've done it. I've pushed issues, and I've watched the engagement just because I was not in it, right? I just didn't. I was doing it because I had to, where when I did it because I wanted to, completely different mindset, completely different impact. So the way I look at it is, if I can get out there and do 3 Facebook Lives a week and them be very valuable and relevant, you know, thought-provoking and valuable,
Yep.
that's what I'll shoot for. If I don't, not going to be the end of the world.
Okay.
But one of the things that made me realize this, so my sales guy did some math. And this was something that he stuck in my head for a reason. He said, every conversation you have is on like a brand audit or a discovery call is worth $10,000 based on last year's numbers. So I don't know about you, but that could go a pretty long way with your wife, with your son, with your dog, with you. So what are you doing every day to have more of those conversations? And that's that fire that's lit under my ass to go out and create content.
Gotcha.
So that's why I've been on my team's ass I want a 48-hour turnaround time at the most after I submit a piece of content to them. None of this 3-4 days, until the thing gets published. I publish it on a Monday, Wednesday it's up.
Okay.
Yeah, not sooner, right? So that's going to take some time for you, because I think you have to build out that team, and that's not something that we can cover. That's another whole project, I think, if you will, to get you the team that you're looking for. And again, Pam could help you with that. I can help you with that. But that's not what this is about. This is about building, your brand and how are you going to make money and all of that.
Yeah, my biggest challenge right now, my biggest focus is brand awareness. The systems after I can absolutely create. It's really the front end. I need people to hear my message. I need to get my fucking message together in the first place.
That's right.
That's right. And have that confidence to be able to deliver it in a public, obviously in social media setting. That's what I need help with. I need ears, and I need to create that.
And eyeballs. You need ears and eyeballs. And so I think we're doing a good job with getting what that is clarified. And we said so already. Let's not forget that your brand is revolving around creating raving fans.
Yeah.
Inside the 4 walls and outside the 4 walls.
Yeah, exactly.
That's you.
Yeah. And that's how I live too. Sorry, you don't have a copy. I don't know if you had a chance to read. I think I sent you the digital copy of the book. I'm not sure.
No, send it.
I did? Yeah, but that's been my whole life, and I'm telling you, man, there's a reason why I'm sharing this message, because my entire friggin' life changed when I took this concept and did it with every single thing. Work, personal life, with my kids, my dog, everything.
Yeah.
So
I love it. I think it's awesome. And then the one thing that we didn't talk about that I think we need to spend time on is we need to build your email list.
Yes.
And that's through the front end. That's through some front end low hanging fruit stuff that you can certainly have some fun with. So squirming like a worm here because I drank like 3 of these. So anyway, you really want to get people on your list. And so what we need to do is create, and we talked about this, some of the low hanging fruit, some of the toolkits that we can create and just put together quickly, and get out there and have fun with it. Like the first 50 you'll get this for free. Otherwise it's going to be $50 later on, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Play with them. That's how I built up my list over the course of a couple of months, where I would go on Facebook and say, hey, I got this toolkit. You want it? I'm giving it away for the first 50. Put your hands down below. Let me know, and I'll PM you the link, and then it's going on sale.
Yep.
And then I would get 50, 60 people a day. Yes, it's fucking legwork, but how else are you supposed to do it?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like these people that are just, again, this is me. You talk to them, they're going to tell you something different. But the people that just want to get a bit, whoa.
That's big.
You can tell I'm Italian when I talk with my hands.
Yeah.
When you I don't want a big list, dude, of nobodies.
Yeah, I agree.
Like right now, my list is at like 4,600, and like those people are interested. People are interested, you know. And I don't care if you unsubscribe after a week. Do me a favor, because you weren't buying from me anyway, right? So, and that's why I email twice a day, in the morning and at night. I want to get you fired up before you go to work, and I want to get you fired up right before you go to bed.
Dude, that's a lot of content that you're putting together.
Dude, it's like clockwork.
Yeah.
It's so easy because it's just me. It's experience. It's daily. You read my emails. I hope you do.
Yeah.
But, you know, it doesn't come hard for me, you know? So I was talking to one of my copywriters yesterday, and he was like, oh, dude, send me some more fodder. Send me some more fodder. Because he likes to throw me some alley-oops here and there with the emails. And it's funny. He's not cheap. He's $3,000 a month. And I said, I don't know if I'm going to, I want to keep you on the payroll next month, but I said, I don't know if I'm going to. One is I need to justify it this month. So I need you to land me another big deal, you know, through the email. And I said, number two, I'm really enjoying what I've learned from you. Yeah. I've started to implement it. And he said, dude, I have to tell you, your emails are pretty fucking good. And he says, so I'm telling you, I'm talking myself right out of this, but you might not need me next month. And I said, all right, fair enough. But I find it very therapeutic, Purdeep, to write like this. And so taking that direct response and putting it into a conversation. So I write like I talk, and it's entertaining. That's the part that I was missing before I hired this guy.
Yeah.
He taught me how to entertain. And so that's what we got to do. And like I told you before, you're performing. Mm-hmm. When you turn on your Facebook Live, when you go to write an email, you're performing. The next post you write, you know, you're performing. And so thinking like that sort of pumps everything up a little bit, you know. And, you know, my brother-in-law said it best when he was writing his comic. He was like, some of the stuff I fudged a little bit because of entertainment purposes. You know, we needed to juice it up for the movies, for Hollywood. And so some of the stuff I juice up, but I only juice it up 5% because that's all I need to do. I mean, most of the stuff is good. So I want you to leave this call knowing that you are the raving fans guy. And your content should be revolving around that. How to create that inside your organization and how to create it outside.
Gotcha.
And you just go deep into that.
Gotcha. Okay. And that's what I was confused on a little bit before, because I saw people straying a little bit in terms of their content. Like they would post random stuff even though we're expertise, and I was thinking, okay, what if I'm being too like narrow focused? But I think I need to go back to that.
I'm telling you, when you specialization makes communication so much cleaner, so much clearer, and you got to just get the FOMO out of your mindset.
Yeah.
Get it out. I just did an email about that the other day. Get it out. When you can stay in that real specific vertical, that's where everybody's making the money, man.
Yeah.
And I've strayed, and it's gotten me. What's Henry do again? What does he do? Yeah. You don't want that. Oh, Henry helps you build personal brands, or Henry's the branding guy. Okay, cool. But we got to take it deeper. I want to just specialize in personal brands. It's who I love that's who I love working with. So gotcha. Anyway, I'll see you at 2. We'll review the brief. It'll be a 30-minute quickie, because it's basically taking everything that we just did, organizing it in a PDF. You give me the green light on that. If I got to tweak anything, we will. Get into the stylescapes. We'll get the logo. We'll get the website created. Real quick, photo shoot.
Yeah, I have another photo shoot tomorrow.
Come
I
on.
sent you pictures from before. I don't know if you had. Yeah.
Saved them. They weren't bad. Now I'm curious because you're getting another one done tomorrow. I want to see them.
Yeah.
And then work with them on. I would say work with them on the new stuff. You know, the website and stuff. Hopefully they come out good. Your stuff now isn't bad. It's not. It's just. I want to see the new stuff. How long do you think it's going to take to get that back?
The video or the pictures?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna ask him to have them ready by next week, hopefully.
Perfect. That's fine, man. Yeah,
I'm
that's
gonna
fine.
push him a
with me.
little bit.
Yeah, we still got to develop the stylescape anyway. So
The one thing, sorry, I have a couple of other things, but the other thing is maybe we could talk about it at 2. Is that video that we were talking about?
what video?
Remember the connection video? So I have one already, but having the one that's similar to yours.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe we can talk about it too, because you have to go now, right?
I don't. I mean, I have a 1 o'clock, so I have a gap. I have 10, 15 minutes.
Okay. So I have a couple of things. One is that video.
Okay.
And so the guys that I used are good, but I didn't like their editing so much. I had to kind of give them direction in terms of the scripting.
Okay.
If I sit, because I have a camera and I don't know. So my question is, do you have an editor? If I film the shit myself, like throw a camera like on a tripod and film and just talk, for example, similar to the script that you're using or you used, can they edit it?
Yeah, you can use
to what you think is good.
Yeah, I mean, you could use Stretch. I mean, that's out of scope of this project, but they can create one. I mean, Stretch is the one that did mine, and if you like mine, he could do something very similar. But he needs that B-roll. Like, he would need that B-roll footage. You know what B-roll is?
Well, I think so, but can you clarify a little bit?
So B-roll footage is you walking down the steps.
Yeah.
You running, the voiceover going over those images.
So I mean the new one that.
Right. So that needs to be shot.
Yeah, so that's what I mean.
Do you want him to shoot it?
No. Well, my question is, because it's a lot easier if I just throw a camera. So I have a camera, and just talk, and send the actual raw footage over to your or whatever that company is. Yeah. Can they do the editing? Like, can they put the video together if I just do the filming? You know what I mean? Yeah.
I have 2 guys. I'm actually going to put you in touch with Chris Perilli, because I know Chris Perilli actually does that for a living.
Okay.
Stretch, I film the B-roll with him, then he goes back and edits, and there's a lot of, I'm not very hands-on, but he captures all of the shots based on what I tell him, not what I give him. You know what I mean? So I tell him the vision, and then he creates it. You're giving him that and then asking him to edit, where I think Chris Perilli, if you give him, he will be able to do what you want him to do with it. I think Stretch will want to shoot the whole thing for you.
Yeah, and I'm obviously out here. I got a guy that can shoot it, but my thing was his editing wasn't great, so I had to give him direction on the editing part.
What didn't you like about the editing? Because I would pick up on bad editing, and I didn't pick up.
No, sorry. I'm the one that... Sorry, the scripting. I'm the one that created the script for him.
Oh, okay.
So when it comes to putting different parts together, I was saying, okay, do it this way, whereas I just want to be able to film the shit and someone put it together so it actually looks good. Do you get what I mean?
Yep. Now I get it.
I just want to sit in front of a camera and just fucking talk and someone put the clips together.
Everything else. Let me ask Chris. He's actually shooting with one of his clients is one of the guys from the Wu-Tang Clan, and he's actually shooting today. He's actually shooting today with him. I don't know. Do you know who Ghostface Killer is?
What's that ring a bell? Yeah.
Yeah, it was Raekwon and Ghostface Killer. They did an album back.
This is like, we're talking about old school shit, right?
But he's filming with him today.
Oh, cool.
In Staten Island. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So I was talking about one of the people that partnerships, right? The collaborations. He's going to be one of them. You're going to be one of them. And I got one more spot to fill. I don't know who that's going to be yet. Okay, but I think that's going to be for 2018. But all right, so let's get some clarity on that. If I can't do it, I know somebody who can, and I'll just shoot you over to him. Anything else you wanted to talk about?
Yeah, the sales page.
For
One of the funnels. You know where we're talking about the application?
yes.
To do the application, I wanted to collect some information first. Is that going to be part of the funnel? Like, how big is their business? What
Yeah.
industry they're in?
So I use Wufoo.
Okay.
Oh,
okay. I think you had that in there, right?
Yeah. So basically, once we get that built out, right, that page built out, I'm going to have you go to Wufoo and I'm going to have you create a form.
Okay.
Just like the form that you filled out for me. I'm going to have you create that form, and then you're going to give me the embed code, and then my guys are just going to plop it into that application page.
Okay.
So the way it's going to work is they're going to pay the $97, and then on the next page, they're going to fill out the questionnaire and then book the call with you.
And then book the call. Okay. And in your do you recommend the Calendar?
Yeah.
You think that's a good one?
Everyone uses it.
Okay.
And they're getting better by the year too.
Are
So
they?
many cool little tweaks and function. I don't use a third of their service.
Okay.
So
That's
Calendly's a good spot for you.
And when it comes to Facebook's, what Mark came out with in terms of his announcement, what are your thoughts? Because I have a personal page, I have a Facebook page. What do I like? I don't know what to post on and what to really engage now going forward.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you, Purdeep, I haven't really put too much thought into it, but I'm going to continue what I'm doing, and I'll share with you what that is. So I post on my personal page because I get the most engagement out of it, right? But then what I will do is I will share that good piece of content from my personal page onto my fan page.
Yep.
And then obviously I'll create some text, right? And then I'll boost that on my fan page. I'll boost the post so that people that are following me
Gotcha.
see it.
Okay, that's good.
Guaranteed that they're going to see it because now I'm paying for it. So his change doesn't really affect me too much because I'm paying already for it. It's the folks that are using the fan page organically, they're the ones that are going to get hurt because they're now going to have to pay.
Gotcha.
That's it. But I'm paying already, so I don't really give a shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You could show my stuff to no one on my personal page. I don't care. I'm still sharing it and I'm still paying it. So until you start messing with me like that, I'm paying and you're still not showing stuff, then I'm like, I'm out. So
Okay.
that's the way I do it. So listen, if you post on your fan page right now and don't post and don't boost, like 2% are going to see it.
Yeah, there's nothing fucking happening there.
Nothing. So
Yeah.
that's why I boost. And it's $20 a day. It's not terrible.
Okay.
It's part of the marketing budget. $20 a day. And I boost that post for a day. And if it does good, I'll boost it again.
Okay. And then I think that was it. And you also have a Facebook group.
Yeah. So I've been struggling with this group now for a while. I mean, it's not growing as rapidly as I want it to. I am going to continue to mention it, contribute to it, interact with it. But if it doesn't catch, you got to dead it.
Okay.
So it may be different for you. You may be it's like a damn baby, Purdeep. Like, you got to treat these groups and give it the attention that you would give a newborn. That's what it comes down to. You got to engage. You got to ask questions. You got to post every day. You got to remember that you're not out there to sell. And I think I do a good job with that. I'm just posting content. I'm not really posting links to buy my stuff. But sometimes it's like pulling teeth. And then I say to myself, is my brand, like, is what I offer group worthy? Like, do people join Facebook groups to learn branding? I could see sales groups being really, really good. You know what I mean? I mean, the tribe group people that really want to build a tribe. Listen, I might be just playing with my head right now.
I think you're playing with your head because I think branding is important. Actually, that's one of the reasons why I truly believe that we came together for some reason. Is all the research that I've done, the stats, we're talking extensive stuff. Everything is leading towards, and I just took a look with one of my clients a couple of months ago. Brand loyalty has dropped by 25% over the last 2 decades. From 40-something to 20-something. And so that's why it's so important. For a message for you is to say, fuck, that's why it's even more important. If you don't have a brand, you're dead in the water. But the other thing is we're taking a look at, and this is why the superfan concept is so powerful. I think why the two go together is it's all about experience now. And if you can't provide that experience, it doesn't matter how big your fucking brand is anymore, you're dead in the water. So I think that's why there's such a powerful message there, like a combination for people today to understand. And it's all to do with what Amazon is doing. Amazon has killed fucking the industry and taken it all to... They have, man. They've wiped out so many businesses, and they're going to continue to do it. But they're killing brand loyalty like there's no tomorrow. And that's why you're seeing businesses become very vertically integrated. That's why Tesla is successful, is because they have their own dealerships. That's why GM, Chrysler, all those other fuckers, they will eventually go out of business because they can't manage the experience. They have individual franchisers that don't give a shit about how they treat their clients.
See that? That's powerful. That's a powerful message right there.
Yeah.
So, brand loyalty is huge and something that is a must to pay attention to in 18. And if you're not,
Absolutely.
like you said, you're done.
That's why they say luxury brands, and the 2 top performing brands are the ones that are going to survive.
There you go.
That's great for you.
Yeah, there you go. Same with you.
Yeah.
Same with you. You're not working with I don't see you working with mom and pop. I see you working with some bigger people.
Well, I mean, just a message to get across to people.
Yeah.
And people don't, business owners don't understand that, especially for personal branding. That's why it's so important for people to have a strong personal brand.
Yeah. I was just talking to one of my clients right before you. He said, listen, I need you to help me with my personal brand because it's what's going to sell MindFit, which is his business. And I said, there you go, my friend.